Young Justice Season 3 returned this week with their penultimate single episode entitled Terminus. I'm Cape Joel, and in this video series, I recap the episode that was, give my thoughts, and track down any Easter eggs that catch my eye. So without further grandstanding, let's get to it, shall we? So you might very well be wondering, with all these massive, world-shaking events happening in the superhero community over the last couple episodes, where has the Justice League been? Well, turns out they were busy tracking down Granny Goodness's orphanage to liberate all the kids trapped there. Also, hey look, there's Ralph Dibny, the elongated man. Nice to see that he tagged along for this mission. Never know when you're gonna need a stretchy detective, am I right? Of course, as we quickly discover, the League's intel is pretty bad as they waltz right in on Granny testing out Violet's use of the anti-life equation, in doing so dominating their entire team's minds. Oh hey, mind-controlled Justice League near the tail end of a season? Why does this sound so familiar, I wonder? Actually, we will get back to this. Now, back on Earth, the team is exhausting all their options for getting Violet back. They even overplayed their hand going after good enterprises, meaning Granny once again gets to look like the victim in the public eye. There's also still a ton of bad blood between individual members of the team who are still coming to terms with the big betrayal that was uncovered last episode. Superboy is hurt by what his fiancée Megan was capable of doing, saying that she should know better than to lie and manipulate like this, especially given their shared history on the team and how lies almost tore them apart during the first and second season. In fact, Connor sees all of the growth that the group has done, kind of let down by the fact that they are still repeating a lot of the same mistakes. Speaking of fallout, there's a very minor B-plot focusing on Jefferson. He barely actually gets to say anything here. Mostly he just walks around looking sad, but the big takeaway seems to be a little bit hopeful as he reunites with his family and maybe learns what's truly important in life. Oh, and his daughters are wearing superhero costumes, which is a fun reference to what the next generation of superheroes could indeed look like. Help ultimately comes for the team in a very unlikely form. Vandal Savage, who, as we saw at the end of last week's show, is slowly losing control over the light, but also losing sight of his own personal mission to protect Earth at all costs, and he figures that, hey, if he's gonna end up fighting with Darkseid anyway, might as well let the heroes go in first and soften him up. And all of this actually ends up leading to one of the coolest missions we've seen all season long, wherein the remaining members of the OG Young Justice team reunite with Brian, Tara, and Forger to rescue Violet and everyone else trapped on the orphanage. Oh, but the references and callbacks don't stop there. You see, Nightwing comes along even though he's still feverish from his experience with the X-Pit, and because of that he starts to hallucinate seeing Wally West Kid Flash with them. It's wonderful though, complete with a reprise of the original Young Justice theme song, and even a return to the classic refrain, "Today's the day." And you know what, for once I felt the action was actually deserving of the story that was being told on screen. Like, after multiple episodes of cutting corners or trying to work around it, we actually got some real fight scenes for a change. Getting to relive their younger days and see Wally again helps Dick work through his own issues that he's been battling all season long. Like taking his place as a leader, not being afraid of loss, learning to let people in and not shove them away just because you're dealing with trauma. It's all very good growth stuff. The extra fun little added benefit too is that because of Miss Martian's power, everyone actually shared this delusion along with Nightwing, so really it was therapeutic for everybody. It's also here in Terminus we learn how Granny hopes to use the anti-life equation and Violet to conquer the universe. Basically, the plan always was to farm a new generation of metahumans on Earth, convert them to Darkseid using the equation, and then use them to carry anti-life sickness across the known universe. And metas at the end of the day really are the key to this plan, because as we find out, if you're just a regular powered person who ended up getting hit with the anti-life equation, you get all kinds of messed up. You basically devolve into a gibbering mess. With few options left, and no doubt wanting to repeat the whole Young Justice versus Justice League thing from the end of season 1, the good guys figure if they have to, Miss Martian could cook everyone's brain with her mental powers, meaning the anti-life threat would stop here and now. It's a desperation move and one that would cost Megan her very soul, but it might be the only play they have left. It's nice too to see Connor's reaction during all of this. He had really given it to Miss Martian about her own moral failings, and yet here he sees just how totally willing the woman he loves is to ruin her own life if it means that no one else has to suffer. And for a second there, it seems like this plan might actually work, except for the fact that once again, Violet's healing aura activates itself, shielding Granny and securing victory for the bad guys. Oh yeah, you heard me right, victory for the bad guys, meaning as we head into the 3-part finale next week, pretty much everyone we know is already slave to Darkseid. And so that was Terminus, everyone, and in many ways it might be the most straightforward, no-frills episode we've gotten all season long, and that's not really a problem. I did dig it. The stage has already been set, all the heavy lifting is done, and now we can start getting into the nitty-gritty of superhero versus supervillain action. The real standout moment is obviously all the fun callbacks to season 1 and just how far the original team has come, not just in their own right, but also as mentors, now that they are quite literally leading the next generation of heroes into action, and in fact, those same new generation of heroes might just be the ones to save the whole world now. So yeah, all in all, a pretty solid penultimate single episode. Be sure to join me next week as we cover the big finale. So until then, everyone, I've been Cape Joel, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.